Hi Aries, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying this time entering your axis. Okay, first time hitting the Libra season side of the nodal paradigm, which is now in your sign on your axis. Major activation coming for you guys in October, probably even by the end of September. We got a lot to talk about in this reading, Aries, as I feel you to be one of the most activated signs of the month. Okay, so I've done spirit writing for you, and I'm getting like quite a few intuitive downloads. So let's just start with the intuitive downloads. Okay. You have to. Oh, this is a weird message. Like it's not something that I would usually say, but you have to almost be like less accepting of certain things in your life, employing more discernment, employing more. No. Okay. So knowing when to say no, knowing when to set boundaries, knowing when to call things out as well, what we accept, what we don't accept. This month is going to re-regulate all of that for you. Okay. Libra season 2023 is a very important milestone for you guys when it comes to like rules that you follow in your own life, like also standards. Okay. If you're dating, standards. Okay. Red flags. Whoa. Major stuff to evolve or upgrade here during this month of October. Also a likelihood of upgrades in general throughout your entire life experience. So upgrades to the appearance, perhaps upgrades to your house, perhaps upgrades to, if you're single, like the way that you date, or upgrades to your current relationship, like perhaps going from dating to marriage, or renewing vows if you're already married, or even like marriage to divorce, something like that too could happen during this time. I feel that one way or another, there is going to be a like shift in the legal structures in your life as well. So officializing a business, dissolving a business, okay, being in a certain place or a different place, like passports, licenses, stuff like that. We have the South Node in Libra. We have the Sun and Mars connecting to it, which means that we have a lot of maybe like officious tasks to do. There could be estate planning. There could be some type of like legal way that you're like re-regulating your life here. It's a good time to focus on that. If you are wanting to do some legal structures, that would be good during this time. But basically, this needs to be applied to every single aspect of your life. There's a kind of like tender point that I feel for Aries right now, where it's like maybe you could like easily get a crush during this month, or you could easily like even fall in love with your work or fall in love with a project. Hi Taurus, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying the wonderful lead up to the month of October. We are moving into your fellow Venus ruled sign of Libra here, and then also hitting your axis in Scorpio. First Scorpio season for you with the new nodal axis in place. I think that this is going to be a very, very shift-oriented time for you. I'm feeling like a totally different internal feeling. I'm seeing for some of you like crushes or new romantic interests. I'm also seeing that perhaps like previous things which you haven't gotten closure with, very relationship-oriented month, could also totally dissipate. So there's a major turning point with like how you're perceiving people who have perhaps been in your life before, whether these are like previous romantic relationships, old friendships, people who are no longer on the journey. Okay, this stuff is reaching finality and conclusion in October. And why that is, well, that's because we've got Mars having approached the South Node. We have the Sun applying up to the South Node in Libra, fellow Venus-ruled relationship-oriented sign. So these deep, perhaps wounds or trauma points relating to relationships are going to have a major turning point in the month of October, and I want you guys to know that. It could absolutely also be like a long-running period of being single that could come to a close here. So some of you might be starting new relationships during this month, and that could like then like through feeling love for someone else. Okay, this is so cool. Sorry, it's a little bit scrambled this month, Taurus, but we're just coming out of this Mercury retrograde as I'm filming this. But I feel like you guys, like any type of like romance to the past or any type of like missing or yearning or grief is going to be counteracted by love this month. Thank goodness. It's about time. Okay. And this doesn't even mean that you have to start a new relationship. This doesn't mean you have to fall in love with someone else, but like through the own love in your own heart, you destroy all of that old outworn pain and your focus changes. Okay. So there's a big focus shift this month. And by November, by the time that we get strongly into Scorpio season, I'm seeing you guys much more like adequate with your goals moving forward, because you're not being weighed down by some of this heavy stuff from the past. Because the overarching feeling to me of October for you is like a precision that is growing. Okay. So we can't really afford to have the same kind of like blunted focus or the same like tax on our spirit. Oh, that's a good concept to think about. Like the way in which old traumas or outworn relationships, or even like sometimes memories or past tripping, future tripping. Hi, Geminis, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying this fellow air sign of Libra that is coming in during this month. I think it will be a wonderful month for you, Geminis. Honestly, as I was mentioning, I believe in September's reading for you, you're one of the best placed signs in this year cycle of 2023, the natural energy of the rabbit archetype, alongside this new nodal axis of Libra and Aries, which are a trine and sextile to you, leads to a wonderful feeling of natural support and natural growth. So let's talk about some of the positive things coming in for you this month, and also, I suppose, some of the dense things which would also be shaking off or kind of like detaching from you as you enter a much lighter, more airy form of energy. Yes, as usual, we've got a lot to talk about. I have some spirit writing I've done for you. And what do we want to do first? Let's see. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tell you guys what I wrote down as I was meditating for your sign. It says, thorough seeking of purpose and joy bring rewards. Allow adventure and exploration to channel your pent-up energy. The keyword is release. So yeah, that's the main mental image that I'm getting for you, Gemini. It's almost like a rocket that like crosses into the next atmosphere, and it like releases a lot of those like previous things that it took to get that far. That's a really cool mental image, actually. And you're the only sign that I'm really getting that for right now. So it looks like you're crossing a threshold here. It looks like you are also going to be much lighter, and there might be a time of adjustment also that you have to take through Libra season. So as you're like maybe releasing some of the things which previously powered or fueled the previous expansion, you are nonetheless still elevating without the same effort or without the same infrastructure. So I feel like this is an important month for you, Gemini, to examine the various sources of fuel, like the engines in your life. Okay, what's charging? What's motivating? Is it necessary? I have been seeing a lot of the other signs trying to like generate all of these different, like generators, thinking that they need all of these things, all of these resource pools, all of this like money or resources or connections in order to do what they want to do, but they don't realize that they could just literally step into it right now. And within that is like a major key that you have that maybe other people don't have. Like, once you figure out what it is that you want to do, I feel that Gemini is one of the only signs right now that knows all that it takes is then embarking. Like, you don't have to go into this like reserve period of time or into this like major kind of like era of like putting back or saving up to do the important thing. You can like actually start to do what matters here. Hi, Cancers, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead and give you some of the intuitive messages and spirit writing that I am getting for your sign. Definitely one of the sort of like better place signs I feel for this month. I do feel it's a lot more comfortable. A lot of the signs that I've been working with, except for you and Gemini so far, and I've done, I think this is like my 10th one. It's been pretty like tough because I felt that there was a very like ornate kind of like very complex pattern that a lot of people are working with here. Kind of like a mandala of sorts where people are placing together many different complex aspects of life, and they're trying to create like a greater story or a greater picture through complexity. I feel that you are also there, Cancer. Perhaps you're just more masterful with complexity. Perhaps your energy does better, kind of like Virgo as well. Even like I said, Gemini was doing quite well with it, surprisingly, probably just because of how like fast their mind works and how light they are. But you are fine. Okay, there might be a feeling of kind of being in the background here in the month of October. There might be a feeling of like, well, the people that I've known are off doing these like huge, wild stories, and I'm like here in my home office, like at my desk with like a really comfortable blanket and cup of tea, and I'm just kind of like methodically pushing along. This is great, okay? I feel like this is where you thrive right now, is in these kind of like reserved or kind of like out of sight, out of mind. All right. So yeah, if you're having any conflicts with people, if you're having anything that's like getting tense, I would withdraw and I would get out of sight, out of mind. Let these people focus on other things. That's a huge kind of trump card, okay, that a lot of us can wield during this time. A huge advantage where like it's very likely to deal with people who are very arrogant, very egotistical. All of these final degrees of Pluto and Capricorn deal with kind of like arrogant power plays. Also like outworn systems that still like work at the same time, but they are outworn. So if you're dealing with any difficulty relating to outworn arrogance, outworn egotism from other people, I would go to a different place and get off their mind, basically. That will be more empowering for you in the long run, as you are facing a greater change by the time we get to Scorpio season. But yeah, let's go chronologically. Libra season for you guys, beginning of October, is a time of like understanding your new method. All right, so what I do every day. If you have big projects, Cancer, please don't procrastinate and make yourself cram at the last second. Hi Leos, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying the build up to Libra and Scorpio season 2023. Welcome back, and welcome Leos into a more fast moving and slightly more surprise filled period of time for you. Okay, so it's been very planned and regimented for the sign of Leo for quite a while. The previous nodal axis on the fixed signs of Taurus and Scorpio dealt with a lot more routine, cycle, and planning for Leo. Now we have this new nodal axis. Now we're getting to understand in October exactly what it means for us, as we have the Sun and Mars connecting to the nodal axis. And I think for you, Leo, knowing also that Uranus and Jupiter are retrograde in Taurus, your fellow fixed signs square whatever you might have in Leo. Well, it looks like we might be heading into some unexpected situations. Actually, as I'm filming your reading, it is looking like it's about to storm outside, and that was not in the weather. So I kind of take that as a little bit of a sign that, some things aren't predicted and some things just happen naturally. So this is actually an area of benefit for you, Leo, as I'm actually feeling that you can kind of like coexist really well with a stormy or kind of energy, like a clearing energy or a purifying energy. Because it feels like you have a lot of kind of like snags, which a lot maybe have already been worked out since your time of the year, where I did really feel around like July and August that it was like a peak of, I just didn't like the energy that I was feeling for Leo then, but there is a change here. There's a purification coming in, and it feels like you are getting certain things out of the equation and adding others in. Hopefully it's the right things. Okay, I want to go ahead and start with your spirit writing, Leo, and we'll get that out of the way and then keep talking. Okay, your spirit writing for October says, secure your heart in more permanent knowing, pull out of all volatility to grow now. The key word is foresight, okay? So yes, I feel that your heart is kind of like secured by some of these things clearing out, by some of these things being off the table. And it feels like there are just like really sensible ideas coming in for you as a result of some storms. It's kind of like if if a storm goes through a city and there's like destruction, okay, well now we know we have to like talk to the insurance people, or we have to start rebuilding, or we kind of like have to deal with it, There could be something like that coming up for you guys in October where it's like, okay, this situation is totally off, or like this lease ends here. Hi Virgos, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. Last but not least, we have Virgo this month. So what an interesting chain of events coming up for you guys here. I've got to say, that for me, the energy really changed as I was moving from doing readings yesterday to finishing up today. So I think that it means that you are kind of in a different territory than most of the other signs. And there's a bit of a testing energy coming in this month as we had a really, really interesting Virgo season. It was kind of a hard Virgo season, I think, in 2023 because the natural energy of Virgo to correct and to polish and to harmonize things, I feel was resisted by a lot of people. So a lot of people were like resisting a certain harmony or resisting a certain level of ease. And nonetheless, they had to have it. So like there was like this forced kind of feeling of like, okay, this has to be easier now. This cannot be this difficult anymore. We can't struggle like this. We can't doubt ourselves like this. Whereas some people had like these muscle memories coming up where they're like, but I always doubt myself, or I always, second guess my impressions or my first impression of people. Now moving into October, getting firmly into Libra season, people are adjusting to what Virgo imposed. So I think for Virgos, it's not that hard. But you might be having other people around yourself, like seriously, any of the other 11 signs, not being totally solid in who they are, or kind of even being like awestruck or dumbfounded, okay, by this feeling of like, wow, you mean this can be this easy? Like I can actually just like live here. I can actually just like prosper. I don't have to like suffer or struggle like this. I'm feeling like Virgo has to experience people like this right now. But for you, it's just peace, okay? For most Virgos anyway. I probably shouldn't make blanket statements like that, but the overwhelming energy for Virgo in October is peace. Something that you've wanted for a long time is delivered to you. Something that you were planning on doing with yourself for a long time has happened. Okay, maybe you finally had some kind of like important procedure done. It almost feels kind of like a surgery, or it feels like something surgical has happened. Either in your energy or even physically in your body. Maybe, I don't know for those of you who've had surgeries before, but if it's right, like you immediately have relief, okay? And your body like knows that it needed done. That's the feeling that I feel for you, whether or not you've had a surgery or not, is like waking up, oh my gosh, I finally did the right thing for myself. I finally removed something, or made, because that's what like a surgery does, right? It makes the energy flow properly again, if it's done properly. Hi Libras, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying the energy moving into fall 2023. What a time of reckoning we're all looking at, and a time of personal intention setting. We have some incredible activation in the sign of Libra happening this month. Of course, happy birthday to those of you aging up, or for those of you who had your birthday in September. This is one of the most activated Libra seasons I've felt in a long time. Okay, it's almost like so bright and so brilliant that you need to like shade away from it, because we have the South Node in your sign, we have Mars approaching, we have the Sun approaching, and of course we will have Sun conjunct the South Node for the first time that this nodal axis has been in these signs. That's going to lead to a very profound illumination for you, Libra, regarding your deep inner needs. And specifically, this is going to be so rewarding for some of you, but also very hard for some. It's going to show you where you haven't received what you deserved, or where you haven't like been able to give yourself what you needed. So I don't want you guys to freak out about this. I'm going to be talking about this for Scorpio as well. So you like Libra, Scorpio cusp people, this is probably going to be very much a part of the experience in October and November as well. It's like, now I know in full illumination where I've either deprived myself, where I've disconnected from something that was really essential for me, or where I've tried to compensate as well to give a feeling of balance, but in reality that could have like stoked imbalance. So to get the more difficult part of October out of the way, there's going to be a major revealing, Libra, this month of what hasn't gotten the time or energy that it deserved in your life, okay? Also, I'm feeling like the human embrace or the human touch is something that comes up in the month of October. So some of you could be like reuniting during this time. Some of you could meet people. I'm feeling like the psychic image that I'm getting is like sort of like long lost relatives meeting again. It's like a very warm familial meeting, or even people that have been like separated for a long time could come back together here as well. Or you could have like seeing somebody in public that you knew a long time ago unexpectedly. There's a feeling of uniting with someone who is distant, okay? And this is going to maybe click something for you that you didn't know was out. So there's something that could also be disjointed in the month of October for all the signs. Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I hope you're all doing really well. I am coming on to talk to you guys about the month ahead, as well as give you some of the spirit writing I've done for the month of October for your sign. I hope that you're all excited. We are getting closer to your time of the year, which will be a very welcome dose of energy coming in for you guys. I feel like 2023 has been a little bit muted and reserved for you. And already by the end of this month, you will be getting a clearer vision about how to move forward, and also the way that you're working with resources differently now. It's all going to get very clear, and you're going to be having much difference come in regarding intentions, motivations, and vision, self-perception. All of that's changing up. So yes, are we looking at a month that deals with the headspace? Absolutely. I think that this month is all about the headspace and mindset for you. And I understand that it can get a little bit tedious and overwhelming because one of the shadow parts of Scorpio is sometimes overthinking or not being willing to act, trying to strategize, trying to plan things through. Though I do think that that is a big part of this month. I feel like even for the rest of this calendar year, you have a really good life opportunity actually to visualize, plan, think about things, mull over things, and begin to change the chessboard of life basically in your own experience. But it's not going to be much past this year that's going to feel so opportune or possible. So I definitely encourage you in the month of October to look at the space that you've been provided and ask yourself, like, what way can I hone this space best? Okay, so if you're kind of like separated from other people right now, if you're out of the group, if you are kind of like distant from other people's problems, this will be a sign that you need to get your own head behind yourself. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you're not working against yourself, that you're not also cutting off certain opportunities or working in a way that doesn't actually give you the life that you're wanting. There's a very great ability as we're moving through Libra season, and especially once we get into your sign, okay, by like the 22nd of October, you're just going to have an understanding of what kind of life is for you, okay, and what kind of life is not for you. This is going to get so clear and so segmented, and I think that this is great to celebrate because I see a lot of Scorpios like not acknowledging the degree to which they can actually have the life that they want and kind of like living other people's lives or accepting other people's imposition. Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I am coming on to talk to you about the month ahead of October. I hope you're all doing really good. I'm looking forward to reading for you this month. I have really been enjoying reading for Sagittarius lately because it's been a little bit challenging for the other signs this year, and some of the signs have been particularly difficult to get a read on as we're dealing with like such like subtle sort of detail work here at a spiritual level in 2023, which is true for Sagittarius as well. But to me, Sagittarius feels much more fortified and just able to work with these momentums without fear. It's going to be a really good month for you guys, okay? This is looking to me like a threshold for you where you will kind of look back to September and compare it, especially by the time you get to the end of October. and you'll see a very different person. Okay, so we're definitely seeing some transformation for your sign this month. Why is that happening? Yes, we have your ruling planet of Jupiter retrograde with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So your planet is kind of like working on reforming materially and reforming the body, reforming maybe the way that you're perceiving your body is like the main thing happening for Sag. So maybe you had like a lot of external goals. Maybe you had a lot of passions and projects that you were working on. And now you're getting time to like catch up with your body and really seeing it for what it is. This is a great month, okay, especially during Libra season 2023. We have the sextile from the South Node with Mars and the Sun connecting to it. It would be a sextile to anything you have in Sagittarius. This is a wonderful time for understanding the way or different ways that things can fit your body better, okay? So where you need to be as a person, the things that need to be on your body, like maybe different types of clothing, different types of styles or materials, different material connotations as well, will help you this month as you are encouraged to be making more congruent your inner vision with your material life. So this is a great month for progress on projects and a great month for being very happy with your body. I've talked about how in Scorpio season and Sagittarius season this year, there's going to be a huge collective change. Okay, we're talking like maybe this happens at like a geopolitical level. Maybe this happens at like a collective consciousness level. I'm not sure. Hi Capricorns, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and looking forward to a really interesting shift point coming up over this next quarter. Actually, I feel the fourth quarter of the calendar year of 2023 is gearing us up, of course, to the all planets direct phase in January and February and March of 2024. Okay, we have another long all planets direct coming at the calendar new year, so that certainly can inform how we might be spending October and November of 2023. As we start to kind of put one foot in front of the other, and we have a chain or series of events that start to demonstrate the sort of like construction of our life. So we have retrograde Pluto turning direct in October in your sign, Capricorn. I believe it's the 10th of October. Pluto will be turning direct and moving back towards Aquarius. And being that we've had so many retrogrades of Pluto on this cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius, I imagine that you have like many things in your life that are on cusps, okay? Meaning that you have a lot of things that are very old with very long running, perhaps generational momentum coming to the surface here. And you also have completely new stories with totally new people, areas, circumstances also coming up. So yes, it's an everything period of time. It's a time where you have to balance the ancient ancestral with the new unknown, okay? This is going to be a little bit difficult for Capricorns, but yes, I'm seeing that a lot of you are finding an incredible balance point here, and you're finding really one of the main keys of life force energy, which is being able to work with the previous momentums while also looking forward to the new things coming in. For your spirit writing this month, Capricorn, I have written down, do not fear death and rebirth cycles. Do not fear that which protects you. Your keyword is re-envision. All right. So yes, I feel that Capricorn is one of those signs that gets structural and is very good at creating routines, cycles, and structures. There could be a change in those here now, though. You could see that a lot of the structures in your life are either facing renovation or are being looked at in a new and different way. Also, I feel that there's a very stylish energy coming towards you as one of the positives of having like this long running Pluto and Capricorn is you can almost get like a fine wine kind of situation here. Something has been worked on for a very long time. Mastery is possible here. Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. This is Sky coming on, talking to you about your month ahead. I'm just drinking some water, Aquarius. Long day of readings, got to keep hydrated. We're really getting stuff done today. I'm being very productive. I imagine that you guys are as well. But yeah, it's kind of a difficult time to be productive, as it feels like such a sentimental and reflective period of time for me that I've kind of just been really enjoying being silent and thinking about some of the ways that things are changing so splendidly during this time. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to be reading for you all this month. In this reading, I'll give you some intuitive messages as well as do a bit of spirit writing for you. And we'll see what's coming up for the sign of Aquarius here in October. Okay, so it's very similar to last month in September. If you guys want to check back to that audio, it will still resonate for October, absolutely. It's like a build-up, right, to Pluto moving back into your sign at the calendar new year. I believe it's January or February. So again, it's kind of like, honestly, a holding back period of time. Like if you've got all the money in the world, if you've got all the energy in the world, like it's not the time where you like remove the dam and let it like burst through. Like this is a time where things are kind of like dammed up, okay? And you're like reservoir. And that's kind of like it, Aquarius. It's kind of like the situation during this time and will be probably until like January of 2024. Try to keep adding to your reservoir. That could look like saving money. That could look like meditating more. That could look like choosing, okay, to not work yourself so hard, choosing to not push against things too hard, watching out for any types of energy manipulation at any kind of level. So yeah, I mean, like obviously like manipulating people or events, but also even like manipulating your body also through like certain supplements or through certain adding or taking away certain things, opening certain things up, closing off other things. It's going to be something that you're having to do all the time when Pluto goes into your sign. But I would enjoy a time of respite. Sabbaticals are great, taking time off, as long as it's not like eating away at your resources too bad. And resources are a lot more than money. I don't know what value money has anymore. There's not a lot there, okay, for anybody. Once Pluto goes into Aquarius, there's not going to be a lot there, all right? It's all going to be about connectivity and relationships, group networking. It's going to be about also, yes, the way in which you connect to like deeper earth momentums coming from Pluto and Capricorn, the way that you connect to your ancestry. And certainly there can be material or monetary components to that. But this is a really good time. Pluto and Capricorn, the entire time of Pluto and Capricorn, 2008 to 2023, okay, that was the time to get your family rich. Hi Pisces, and welcome to your October 2023 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying a very major paradigm shift that you guys have had throughout Virgo season. Okay, we had a super activated Virgo Pisces axis with that Mercury retrograde that happened in Virgo, Saturn retrograde, and Neptune retrograde in your sign, and of course multiple oppositions throughout the season of Virgo. And here we are coming into October, into Libra season and Scorpio season with a very different Pisces, with different connecting points, different people, different stuff on the table. Really interesting Pisces. I've got to say, your reading feels like one of the most abundant energies for me to be working with this month. The last few months have actually been a little bit of a trial with filming readings because the energy has become so particular during this paradigm, and there's such a like kind of detailed, fine-tuned, sort of ornate feeling about the energy right now, meaning that it just takes such precision to really articulate this period of time and do it a justice. But for you Pisces, though, I feel that it's a little bit more open-ended and you have a little bit more leeway, flexibility, and, you know, options at your disposal here. So it's not like you're having to really do any one thing. At the same time, some of the best opportunities are here. So it's like you don't have to take the bull by the horns. You don't have to really be anybody for anybody. But you, at the same time, I feel, don't want to just let this time pass without really like embracing the possibility of this time too. Like you don't want to miss out on an opportunity. At the same time, you don't want to have a feeling of scarcity or a feeling of like having to be rushed or reckless either. So definitely a big focus this month on balancing timing, a big focus on thinking about the volume of some of your experiences, like how loud or quiet some of the things you're doing are. There could be a readjustment there. Volume is a key word that I'm getting for you this month. Careful about like overdoing the headphones, okay, or too loud of music. Also, like the volume of the voice. Are you speaking loudly enough to be heard? Okay, make sure if you have something that you need to tell people that it's not with a stutter or too quietly. Like, really don't be afraid to tell people how you feel. I also feel that it's somewhat of a romantic period of time for Pisces. I feel that there's a growth of enjoyment of the finer things in life here. You may refine your palette during this time. You may also discover new kinds of music, new kinds of taste. Arts and culture feel like a very wonderful new expanding area for you. And I feel that a lot of the things that you were having to put your energy into for a long time are just no longer on the table.